Alright guys, in the last video we finished our navigation here. Actually, I'm going to close all this out. And what we need to do next is start to create our routes for the stories and all that. We need to set up our templates, our views. But before I do that, I want to push to Heroku, because right now our remote application, if we go and let's open it up. It still looks like this. So I think that this is a good time to push to our remote application. So what we're going to do is go down here and stop our server. And let's go ahead and we'll say git add all. We want to add everything to our repository. Then we want to commit it. So git commit -am. And let's just say, I don't know, we'll just say started UI. All right, so everything is committed. Now we just need to say git push Heroku master. Okay, so it looks like everything went okay. Let's go ahead and reload our remote application. And there we go. Let's test it. So we'll try logging in. Okay, we're at our dashboard. Let's go to the home page. And we're logged in. So this is actually our deployed app, and our authentication works, all our navigation works. Let's log out. Good. So we'll close that up. I just wanted to push that and make it current. But now what we'll do is, let's see, we're going to have a lot of stories routes. So let's create in our routes folder a file called, not a folder, a file called stories.js. All right, and inside here, we're going to need our express and router. So I'll just copy it from here, and we're going to need to export. Okay, and let's see, let's do router dot, we'll say router dot get slash. So since we're in stories, this represents slash stories. Request res, and we're gonna res dot render. And let's render stories / index. Okay, so let's go into our views. Now before we create the stories index, I also want to create a view for our dashboard. So in the index folder, we're going to create a file called dashboard.handlebars. And let's see, let's just put an H1 here, and we'll say welcome. Now, if they're in the dashboard, they should be logged in, so we should have access to the user, the global user value, and we're going to say welcome first name. Okay, and then what it's going to do is it's going to list all that user's stories, so we'll just say your stories. So we'll save that, and then let's go to the index route, excuse me, routes index.js. And we're going to change this to res.render, and we want to render index / dashboard. All right, so let's save that. Let's run our server with nodemon. And now if we log in, failed to look up index dashboard in the views directory. Oh, I spelled dashboard wrong. There we go. All right. And there we go. Welcome, Brad, your stories. Okay, you can log out. Now, we can still go to the dashboard. Even though we don't have a link, if you're not logged in, we can still go, and it says your stories or welcome nothing. Now we're going to fix this later on. We're going to make it so that you can't go to dashboard if you're logged in. So don't worry about that. Just something I wanted to mention. Now let's go ahead and create in our views another folder called stories. And then anything to do with stories is going to go in here. So let's say new file, index.handlebars. That'll be the public listing, the public stories. We might as well create add.handlebars. What else? Let's create edit.handlebars. And I think that's it. Oh, show for the single story. So new file, show.handlebars. All right, so we'll just get those out of the way. And then in each one, for now, let's just put in H1. So for this, we'll say add story. That's add handlebars. For, let's say, edit, we'll put in H1 and we'll say edit story. Save that, close it. For the show, we'll say, that's actually going to have the story name as a title, but for now, we'll just say show story. Close that, and then in the index, where is it? Index handlebars, inside stories, we'll say public, not public, just stories. We're actually going to use this template for private stories as well, so that should do it. Let's go ahead and close that out. Now, in the routes stories.js file, we actually loaded the stories index, so we should now be able to go to /stories, which is this link right here. Or not. Oh, you know what? We didn't add the stories route in the app.js file. Okay, we need to do that just like we did with the index and auth. We need to add the stories. So I'll go ahead and add that. And then down here, okay, so now if we reload this, wait, we're getting an error. Modules is not defined. Let's see. Oh, it should be module.exports. There we go. So now we can go to our /stories. Now for the add stories, let's create a route for that. I'm actually going to put comments here. We'll say stories index. And let's say add story form. And I'm just going to copy this. And we'll say /add. And it's going to go to stories/add. So now if we go to story/add, we go to the add story template. Now I want to put one of those floating buttons down here to add a story. I also want to add a footer, a fixed footer to our application. So I think that we're going to stop here and then we're going to do that in the next video.